And now, an icon. A man who provided more thrills to Brooklynites than almost anyone. He's also the only baseball player to have ever been Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and the Cy Young pitcher in the majors. Here to present this year's Melting Pot Award is the winner of last year's Melting Pot Award, number 366666, Don Newcombe.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, I received this beautiful award given to me by my son, Don Jr., and Senator Barbara Boxer. And this year, we're going to present it to another legend, if you will. And I want you to know something about this legend, so I'm going to read you some things about him, and then I'm going to bring him on the stage. Sol Levine. Sol grew up in the great... Go ahead, round of applause for Sol. Sol grew up in the great melting pot. He's a true Brooklyn boy, having attended PS 109, Thomas Jefferson High, and Brooklyn College. 2 years after college, he was back in Jefferson as a high school history teacher. And 10 years later, he became the department chair in social studies at Canarsie High School, and 5 years later, he became one of the youngest principals in the New York City school system at John Dewey High School in Brooklyn. Sol's reputation as an educator and leader became national in scope, and in 1977, Sol was selected as the principal of Beverly Hills High School, where you now sit. During his tenure, the ethnic composition of the student body changed significantly, and because of his background, Sol was perfect and also a perfect fit for the many issues that arose. His leadership was marked with so many successes that 12 years later, he was elevated to the position of superintendent of schools. He served in that position for 8 years, double the time of his predecessors. Many of you will remember Sol, as he used to take the stage to welcome when we first began our reunions here. And by his edict, now 13 years ago, he has kept the clock on the wall, and that's off to the right now, 3 hours ahead. It's on New York time. So you know how dedicated Sol was and is to New York. Sol and his lovely wife, Marilyn, also from Brooklyn, retired on June 30th as the superintendent of schools, bringing a temporary halt to a wonderful career. As a product of a great school system, we all know the tremendous impact that teachers and educators can have on a person's attitudes and goals. With great pride, we of the New York Alumni Association recognize the tens of thousands of lives that Sol has touched, and we wish to express our appreciation to a true gentleman. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is a true gentleman, and to a person who dreamed the dream, who walked the walk, who kept the values, and who instilled the values in others. Now you welcome and stand and give him a round of applause, please, Sol Levine. Thank you. And so it is a great honor and a pleasure for me tonight to present the second Melting Pot Award and to welcome you to the Melting Pot Award of Champions and the team of champions. And Sol, you're batting second on this team, so don't forget that. I'm still the manager. Welcome, Sol.
Thank you very much. To receive this award from Don Newcombe is a very, very special honor. And Don, those of us who grew up in the shadow of Ebbets Field understand the meaning of wait until next year. But you, one of the great Dodgers, Cy Young Award winner, Rookie of the Year, you made next year possible. And we are eternally grateful to you for that. I'd like to ask all of you for your indulgence. Well, I have my wife, Marilyn, join me on the stage. As she's coming up, I'll tell you that we met in Mr. Feldman's mathematics class in PS 109 and attended Thomas Jefferson together. This past June, we celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary. To paraphrase a Neil Diamond lyric, I'm New York City born and raised, but nowadays I'm lost between two shores. New York City is home, but it ain't mine no more. I grew up in the streets of New York City, Powell and Livonia to be exact, and as I get on in years, I see with greater clarity the vibrancy of those streets. There were voices in those streets, and you all heard them. Voices of children at play, pushcart vendors selling their wares, and most importantly, families nurturing their children. New York City gave me PS 109 and Thomas Jefferson High School. Where the urge to become a teacher took shape, Brooklyn College, a part of the great city university system, nurtured and forged that dream for me. As you've heard, I worked as a teacher, principal, superintendent in a career that spans 45 years. And during that time, I probably signed the diplomas of 8,000 students, and in one way or another, touched the lives of countless children. It's been a wonderful 45 years, and now to receive this award, as I walk metaphorically into the sunset of my life, this award is very, very special. Thank you to Fran and Lou Zigman and the New York Alumni Association for making this possible. Finally, if I can take some liberties with Neil Diamond's lyrics, I would close with these thoughts. I'm New York City born and raised, and proud of it. Nowadays, LA's home, and that's just fine. But in my heart of hearts, New York will always be mine. Thank you.